What's up, camera? Welcome back to the channel. This, of course, is another manga haul video. But, unlike normal manga haul videos, this one is actually a pretty modest haul. I like to think that a haul is a haul no matter how small. But the actual main focal point of this video is not the haul, but actually the long-awaited, the highly anticipated manga collection video, where I'll be showing off to you today the library of manga I built up after about 21 months of seriously collecting. There isn't too much I want to say right now because I just kind of want to get to the whole main big thing. I don't want to spend too much time talking about things not related to the haul and the collection, because then this video would be a lot longer than it should be. But if there are some things that I want to bring up, because there are some things I do want to bring up, but there'll be things that I bring up while I'm going around showing off the collection I have. So let's just jump right into the haul for this month. Starting off with the first non-gift item, it is the Avatar: The Last Airbender, I believe, yeah, the Search Omnibus. And now this kind of has a bit of a story behind it. This was a real pain in the ass to get. I pre-ordered this at the same time that I ordered the Promise Omnibus. It came out sometime in November, and while they weren't too terribly noticeable, like I'm sure some of you would be rolling your eyes, but there was a bunch of small scratches on the front and back, and they were noticeable. But it would have been fine if I decided not. If Amazon didn't provide free replacements, then I would have let it go and dealt with it. But this is the third or fourth replacement, I believe. Each time it came more damaged than the last. The second one had a bunch of crumples everywhere. I don't have pictures of them. I just have to take my word. Maybe I'll sound like a whiny, entitled consumer right now, but I mean, hey, I paid $20 for a new book, so I expected it to be like new. Like, I paid the same price for both The Search and The Promise, and the Promise came in like perfect, near perfect condition, as perfect as you can get from Amazon's shipping, if you know how terrible it is, how terrible their shipping is. So basically, each time it came in with worse bumps and some warping and some issues with ripping and stuff like that. This is the best I could get, and I just didn't feel like trying to get another replacement. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it's so not an issue that I'm I find, you can see there's a little gap here. Some of the pages are sticking out above the top a little bit more than they should, but I just want to have this and read it. I haven't read it yet, but I just want to have this and be done with this whole ordeal. That's pretty much all I can say for that right now. So let's move on to, just make sure I get that on the camera. Alright, next up is another light novel. This was the first, because the rest of the things in this haul is just going to be gifts that I got from family over the holidays. And now I know what I said about light novels. I wanted to see if I could read light novels that I don't have any prior experience with an anime or manga, and see if I enjoy it, and see if it's just because I like light novels for stuff that I've already seen, and I just want to get more of it, or if I'm genuinely just enjoying light novels more. And I haven't read this yet because I'm recording from the 27th, so I haven't read much, because I've also been playing some games that I got during the Steam Winter Sale. But I watched Baccano way back. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal because apparently, I watched the anime, and the anime is still told in a sort of non-linear way, and apparently it's not that way in the light novel. So, and at some point, I'm gonna get into new material for Baccano. Everywhere I've looked, which admittedly isn't that far, it's been difficult to see where I can get the second volume of the Baccano light novel. Not on Right Stuff, maybe for a little bit more to buy it from someone instead of Amazon themselves for volume 2. And the last time I went to Barnes & Noble, which was a little bit before Christmas started, they only had volumes 11 and 12, but something I was surprised by was how expensive they are. I believe right here you might be able to see it, it's $20 US to get a single volume of the Baccano light novel, which I guess I can understand, because not only are they hardcover, they've also got the dust jacket. It's about 200-ish pages long, and they've also got some full color illustrations in the beginning, so I guess I can understand it. But damn, I'm just gonna make me less incentivized to continue to buy these specific light novels. But I might have something coming in January, a light novel for a series I've done nothing with before, which some of you might be surprised by that, because it was a really popular, it got a really popular anime. But this is like a new setup, so I'm trying to like problem solve and workshop this as we go on. Next up is the first 5 volumes of Haikyuu. You might be thinking, wait a minute, that's only 4. Yeah, you know how Amazon doesn't always have everything that you want in their warehouse, but they'll still sell, they also sell other people's stuff. That was what's happening with Volume 3. It wasn't in stock with Amazon, but somebody else was selling it, so it's going to take a little bit longer to get here. And I believe it was in July, in that haul video, when I got some of the volumes of Slam Dunk, where I mentioned I wanted to try a sports anime and manga, and I'm not really into sports, but because I'm into anime, and I've heard great things about specific sports anime and manga, I decided to check them out. And the two that I was debating was Slam Dunk and Haikyuu. I am also planning on checking out Kuroko's basketball at some point, Kuroko no Basket, but I kind of, at the time, wanted some sort of a more like realistic portrayal of sports, so that's why I went with Haikyuu and Slam Dunk, because that's what I've heard. And so because the anime for Haikyuu was newer and had better animation, I decided to go with that one for the anime. And for Slam Dunk, I went with the manga because it's illustrated by Takehiko Inoue, who I have a bit of experience with his work. I read the first Viz Big for Vagabond, which is the first 3 volumes of the manga, and the art is amazing, so I decided to go with the manga for that and the anime for Haikyuu. And now that I'm about halfway through the second season of Haikyuu, I decided to start giving the manga a go, and I should probably start collecting more of Slam Dunk, but it's been kind of hard to, because on Amazon, I'm pretty sure, as of right now, the status for it is like out of stock. We don't know when it's coming back. And the same thing for Right Stuff. I don't like to, I mean, obviously there will be times when I'm like, I guess I'll have to buy it when I want to get stuff and it's out of stock expecting more, because I've had some long waiting times for series that I bought that were out of stock expecting more. But it's been like that pretty much for a lot of the Slam Dunk manga on Right Stuff. But I guess it might just be a case that they don't have like extras of it in their warehouse at Right Stuff, and they only order them or get them in when people actually order them. So I think if I want to get a lot of older series, that's just something I'm going to have to deal with, is potentially just order the out of stock expecting more stuff and you'll get it eventually type things. But it is kind of annoying because unless you pay with PayPal, they don't immediately charge you until they actually ship out the order. So sometimes I'll place an order for out of stock stuff and be like, I've still got plenty of money, I can go buy other stuff too, but in reality I really don't. But I guess it's just how it be sometimes. One thing I'll say, getting back to the Haikyuu manga, is that I definitely feel like it's been a lot slower of an experience reading the manga than it has been watching the anime. As you can see here in Volume 2, I'm about here, so I'm partway through, but maybe it's because I should probably show the wrong colors too, but maybe it's because I've already watched the anime, and I've already gotten to later parts where there's been a lot more character development and action, but I just feel like things are going so much slower, at least in the manga. Like, I'll have read what felt like half an hour, and then I'll go back and realize I only read like 4 pages, because it just seems like there's so much dialogue. Like, here's a good example. Just like this whole page, there's like so many speech bubbles. It might just be my fault, because I already know what's going on, so I just want to, I have this instinct to rush past it as fast as possible. I don't know if you can tell, these glasses are really fogged up right now. Because I want to speed through it, I just feel like it's a lot slower than the anime, because I also try my best, whenever I'm reading anything, to read as slowly as I can, so I can absorb all the dialogue and just take in the dialogue and the art as much as I can, immerse myself in this world. So that might be part of it. I feel like it's picking up a little bit in Volume 2, but then again, I'm not that far into it, obviously. But there are some signs, the art's obviously good throughout, but some of the action and more emotional scenes early on, I really liked how the art looks, which makes me excited to see some of the other stuff later on in the manga. As I said, I'm in halfway through season 2, so there's going to be a lot of exciting action I'm going to see back in the original form. Here's a good one. This page, really good art. Really, a lot of good stuff. Here's another good one. This is one I was specifically looking for. This one shot, which is basically almost one-for-one recreated in the anime, except for obviously in motion. One more, and then there's this really good one. So, it is slow, I will not lie. I kind of wish it was going a bit faster, at least in the first volume. Things are seeming like they're going to pick up in volume 2, but I'm like hedging my bets that I'm going to love the manga as much as I love the anime. And you'll see what that means sometime in January, hopefully. Here are the other 2 volumes, volume 4 and 5. And now for the actual last 2 pieces of manga in this haul. The more Christmas gifts, volumes 19 and 20 of Berserk. And now I know if you've seen last month's haul video, you might be saying, what the heck? Where's volume 16, 17, and 18? Well, here's what I did. On Right Stuff, it's $75 to get free shipping in the US. So what I decided to do is I decided to pre-order a bunch of stuff. Stuff that comes out in January, February, March. Basically pre-order stuff that I know I'm going to want to get. And even though they won't all ship out until the last pre-order, they're partial orders. If you use Right Stuff, you know what I'm talking about. So, along with those pre-orders, I also got some other stuff, including 16 through 18 of Berserk. And so, I'm just waiting for those to come out. And I think at the earliest, it'll be out, or I'll have them, they'll be delivered early January, because that's when 2 more things that I pre-ordered come out. So, we'll see, obviously. Who knows what's going to happen, because I've had a package that has been in transit, arriving late with the United States Postal Service for like a month now. Who knows when any of my shit's going to come in. I guess it really is the holiday season, huh? I don't really have much to say about these volumes. I could potentially just read them by themselves, but I mean, unlike with Hunter x Hunter, where things are more fresh in my mind because of the anime, and also because it was only volume. This is 1 volume. This is a 3 volume, like between what I've read last in volume 15 and volume 19. But I did technically read up to 28 back before I started seriously collecting a bunch of physical stuff. I've got stuff to read and stuff to watch because I'm watching Haikyuu, Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, and Monster, and like. In January, it's going to have a bunch of other new airing stuff that I want to watch. So, I'm sure I'll find find things to keep me busy while I wait for the 16, 17, and 18 of Berserk to show up so I can actually read these, but we'll just wait and see, I guess. Now finally, the actual last, thing in general from this haul. And not Manga, not light novel, it's actually a Blu-ray, yeah. I got interrupted, so I don't remember where I was, so let's just start over. This is the last of the holiday gifts that I got. Oh, Jesus, this is already awful. But it is the first Bleach Blu-ray set. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but in July I got the 2nd and 3rd volume, or box sets, which you definitely already know about. And suffice it to say, I've become a very big Bleach fan. And I don't know if I'll use these specifically, or if I'll just watch it digitally, if I decide to do a rewatch of the Bleach anime. I know for sure I want to do a reread of the manga when I eventually get my hands on the rest of it. When I have the whole manga in my possession, I definitely want to do a rewatch of the whole, or a reread of the manga. And I'm considering doing a rewatch of the anime, just so I can get used to the sort of aesthetic the anime had with with the music and the animation. I would hope that the animation is consistently really good in the 1,000-Year Blood War anime whenever it comes out, sometime 2022 probably. I hope it has the same level of consistent quality of animation that a Hunter x Hunter 2011 had, because that's always what one of the strong suit was that it was just consistently very good. But who knows? All I know for sure is that I'm definitely going to read the manga, and I might possibly rewatch the anime. Who knows? Maybe that'll be a series for the channel or something. Just people coming along that journey with me to rewatch and for preparation for the 1,000-Year Blood War anime. Well, that's pretty much all we've got for the haul, so let's move on to the actual collection showcase. Alright, we're back, camera. I had to take a break.
and stop recording to do something like eat dinner and a couple other things. Now that we're back, we're finally going to get into the actual collection show-off part of the video. And to start off, obviously, you see, here we have the entirety of the Tokyo Ghoul manga, all 30 volumes, plus the first illustration books, plus the first illustrations book for the first 14 volumes. I haven't gotten the one for Tokyo Ghoul yet, just because I've just been, putting off buying it. It's been kind of lower on the priority list, so to speak. Tokyo Ghoul is definitely one of my favorite mangas of all time, especially the first 14 volumes are amazing. I've read up to volume 8 of Tokyo Ghoul, that's where I left off, and so far it's still pretty good. I still think it's really good. A lot like with Bleach, a lot of people were saying that Tokyo Ghoul gets worse over time. Obviously, I cannot confirm nor deny. My only impressions of the later parts, story bits of Tokyo Ghoul is from the anime, which is terrible. So I'll, again, like for Bleach, I'll have to make that up for myself while I read the rest of the manga. Up to where I'm at in volume 8, it's still really good. It's still not as engaging as some parts in Tokyo Ghoul, and especially there's stuff been going on in like 6 through 8. There's been some particularly bad things happening to a specific character that I wouldn't necessarily say might have like dwarfed things that were happening around in this range of volumes in the original Tokyo Ghoul to Kaneki, but there's some pretty bad things happening to poor Mutsuki. So sad. And then down here at the end we obviously have the first spin-off novel. I do want to get the other two at some point, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And at the end, we have a little placeholder bit to keep these from falling over, my copies of the Avatar: The Last Airbender comics. And I don't know if I actually said it, but this is indeed just a dedicated shelf of Tokyo Ghoul. This isn't like where it would be if I sorted my shelves by alphabetical or by my personal way of sorting my shelves by height and then like alphabetically. These wouldn't go here. These would go in between the art book and these volumes. And the reason I keep them up here is I'll show them down here, because if I put these two where they should go, because I sort by height, obviously, you can tell this is not alphabetical. This would not be able to fit here. There would be not enough space to like put this here, so there would just be like a space in between it. But at some point, when I get more volumes of Vagabond and JoJo's and Aria, then I'll move it down here probably. But let's get into more specifics. We got the 5 volumes of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Obviously, you've seen me get all these volumes in hauls before, and I believe in the April, and then the rest of it, fuck, I don't remember when. I don't remember which video. I'm sure I'll figure it out at some point. And I'm pretty excited, both excited and like kind of scared to see how the last Rebuild movie is going to turn out, because it's been like so long since the last one, and it's finally coming out this January, but I probably won't be able to watch it for a while because I can't go see it in the theaters, because it'll probably only be in Japanese theaters. But next we got Vagabond. Still only have 1 volume of this. I have gone and actually read this volume, and maybe I'll need to reread it before I decide like where on my priorities this series goes. But for overall, it's got great art and it's definitely got interesting characters. I want to see more of this character. I forget what his name is, Miyamoto or something, I don't fucking know. But I mean, all I can really say from not being too into the whole Vagabond series that the art is amazing. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one of my favorite series. I don't have very many volumes of the manga, and I only have part 4 because I've read parts 1 through 3 back when I still only, like, I didn't read much manga, but when I did, it was digitally. I read parts 1 through 3, and then I've also read parts 6 and 7 digitally, so I'm already there. The 3 parts I haven't read are 4, 5, and 8. So I plan on getting the physical editions of 4 to actually read it. I think I got up to the sheer heart attack part of part 4 digitally back when I was going through JoJo's manga. And I do remember reading a little bit of part 5 at some point digitally, but I plan on getting these physically, and I'll probably like be able to like keep myself from reading part 5 digitally, even when there's like the slow like multiple month wait between releases of the Part 5 manga, because I'm pretty sure they're planning on starting doing that this, or summer 2021. Next up, Aria. I don't know how underrated this is, because it has, like, multiple animes, and it's getting this, like, re-released Masterpiece Edition, which is really nice. It's very pretty, but, if you haven't checked it out before, and you're, like, more open to less plot-driven, more, like, relaxation, slice of life type things, Aria is pretty good. I wouldn't say any of the characters are really stand out, but the art is really nice and the stories are really, like, wholesome and calming. All You Need Is Kill is one of the first volumes I got when I found out that Right Stuff anime exists. It was this, and in that same order I also had some Devil as a Part-Timer stuff, and gosh, I believe the first volume of the Devilman manga classic collection, which I never ended up keeping. I ended up selling that. I don't know if that's blasphemy or anything, but I just didn't find that interesting, at least compared to Devilman Crybaby. But this is definitely one that I've seen people at least recommend if you're starting out collecting manga, because it's short, it's pretty cheap, and it's also pretty good. The art is amazing. It's illustrated by the same guy who did the illustrations for Death Note. And if you didn't know, the Tom Cruise movie, I can't remember what it's called, Edge of Tomorrow or Live Die Repeat. It's one of those two. This was also, this and that movie were both inspired by a novel called All You Need Is Kill. But definitely check this out if you're interested or need. We now are looking at Vinland Saga. I don't know how I almost got that messed up. Oh no. I don't know if you noticed, but I have these slightly pushed up so they're not directly touching the back, because, I don't know, it looks nicer when they're not, like, really deep back there in the shadows. Vinland Saga is also really good. It's been kind of lower on my priority list, because at this point, I've already caught up with the anime, and there's some other stuff that I would prefer to collect. Again, these might be considered hot takes or blasphemy among the manga community, but it is a very good series. I do love it a lot. And, like, close to the end of Volume 4, we get a sneak peek of what I've heard people online calling Farmland Saga, which is I'm very interested by it. Like, after reading that sort of preview, I guess, of what's to come in the farmland with Thorfinn as a slave, I'm not disinterested from checking out the rest. It's just there's other stuff I'm more interested, if that makes sense, and makes people potentially less mad at me. This is also one of, like, my favorite, like, to look at on the shelf, because it has very beautiful hardcovers, it's very colorful, and one thing I also really love about this release of Vinland Saga is that they keep the different volume covers, like, intact. At some point in these volumes you'll see the other covers, and it also keeps full color pages. Like, there's full color pages of certain moments in each volume, which is really nice. Next, we got another series that I would definitely recommend you getting if you're sort of new to collecting manga and you need shorter series. And I don't think I've seen I don't typically watch them, but I didn't see these in, like, a couple of the starting out manga collection videos. This is definitely a good one. This is the whole series of Azumanga Daioh, all 4 volumes in one whole complete package. This is one of those things that I got on a whim. Back when I started getting Right Stuff anime stuff, I was constantly, like, every week they had a sale, and so I would always just, like, buy something, like, no matter what it was. If it was on sale, if there was a sale for something, I would buy something, at least upwards of $50 for the free shipping each time. And so this is one of the things I got because it was like 20 bucks, I think, on Right Stuff. And it's definitely not for everyone. I think it's a pretty funny thing. It's a pretty funny slice of life comedy. It's pretty highly rated too, and I think I've read somewhere people that's like considered like the grandfather or grandmother or whatever of the like 4-panel wholesome high school girl slice of life comedy type thing, which honestly I could believe, because this is pretty old if I'm not mistaken. And also, where is it? Oh, yeah, there we go. Absolute necessity for any manga enthusiast library. I don't know how true that is, because I'm really not an expert. Despite all the series I've collected and read, I'm really just like not an expert at all. Alright, next up is Beastars. I really liked the anime. I wouldn't say I loved it more than Land of the Lustrous. The only reason I tried Beastars out in the first place is because it was made by Studio Orange, which made learned with Lustrous, which led me to reading the manga, which is also amazing. Oddly enough, I don't feel that sort of like the same passion for Beastars that the manga at least, that I felt for the anime for it, or even the manga of Land of the Lustrous. I could not tell you why. I'm sure you could draw your own conclusions, but I just don't feel motivated to collect any more volumes after Volume 6. I just feel like waiting for the anime to start, which is gonna start in January as well. Maybe I need to go back and reread the manga and like find that flame of passion to keep reading, but from where I'm standing right now, I'm probably just gonna wait until the anime ends and then buy the volumes of the manga up to where Season 2 finishes adapting. Also, one thing, I'm not a fan of the font of the logo back here. It's just like, I don't know if that's impact or not, but it's really boring looking, in my opinion. I can't get behind it. Volume 1, we got Volume 1 of Black Lagoon, Volume 2 is down there, but this one, I do want to get, there's only like 11 volumes, so that's partially why I'm like so lazy in collecting it, because there haven't been any new volumes in a long time. The new chapters are apparently coming in very like on and off. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but it's definitely a really great series because it's very like different from what you see in a lot of other things. Because it's an action series. It's very much an action series, but it's a lot more violent because it's about modern day pirates in a very like shithole of a country. Pardon my language. And I really love the relationship that develops between Rock and Revy as the series goes on. I've watched all of the anime, the first season, the second season, and Roberta's Blood Trail. It's just something I've been really lazy getting to. I do hope it gets another anime and the manga keeps going, because from where it left off in Roberta's Blood Trail, Rock is like a very different person. It's been really fun seeing how he's changed as the series has gone on. Now here we got the final layer of this first section of my collection. We have Delicious in Dungeon, which is, I finally gotten around to finish reading the first volume, and it's definitely funny and interesting, but it doesn't really have anything huge, at least in my opinion, to like put it up on my, like high up in my priority list of things I want to get. Here we've got another long-running series that these are the volumes I was talking about that will fall over very easily, like those. These ones fall over so goddamn easy. These early volumes of Doro Hedoro, like I'll take out a few volumes just to show you what I mean. Instantly just fall over like that. God damn it. Oh, now I gotta put down my camera. Honestly, Doro Hedoro is one of my favorite series of all time. I have finished reading the series since the last time I had volumes from the haul video, and man, there's some things that I was a little upsetty spaghetti not happening in the ending. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal, because it was literally just ships not coming true, but I mean, that's fine. I'll get over it. But other than that, the ending was very, like, really satisfying. Also, reading the long, like, author's note at the end of the series from Q Hayashida. Man, I'm gonna miss Doro Hedoro so much, but I'm so excited for February or April, early next year, when Die Dark is finally gonna start coming out in English, so I can continue to read more of Q Hayashida's amazing work. Moving on, here we got the first volume of Goodnight Poon Poon. Maybe I just need to reread this and give it another try, but the two Inio Asano books that I have are the first volume, Goodnight Poon Poon and Solanin, and they're not bad. I think they're they're good. It's just that I don't think they're my cup of tea. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe I need to read the whole series, because this is only just, like, the first volume, but I was just kind of, like, the whole time. It's not that I didn't feel anything. I did kind of feel for Poon Poon as like the bad things were happening to him, but like, man, I don't know. It's just not my type of suffering. Like, suffering isn't even bad. I love Land of the Lustrous, and that's full of suffering, but I don't know, for some reason this version of suffering, if you can call it that at all, this might be blasphemous, but I don't know. This is definitely, Goodnight Poon Poon is very low on my priority list. And I don't think I want to read Solanin, like, anytime soon, especially with something, I'm not going to say what it is, but if you read it, like, halfway through, when, like, the big plot twist or whatever, or, like, the big twist in the story where the big thing happens, I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is happening now, you know? But it's my opinion, so it's objectively true, don't at me, okay? Then we have 2 volumes of K-On! It's very hard to find copies of K-On! Anywhere. Maybe I need to go back on eBay again, because that's where I got this copy. This is actually the loot box edition of the first volume cover, I believe. I haven't actually read this one. I've only read the high school one, which was pretty available from Right Stuff Anime, and I don't know if it's my favorite manga of all time. It's like alright, but definitely the anime for K-On! Is one of my favorite of all time, which you'll see later how much I enjoy it. House of the Husband still only have 2 volumes of it. Got confirmed for an anime. I believe it's going to be a Netflix original, which is really cool. If they have the same production, like level of production that Kaguya-sama Love is War has, the Way of the House Husband is going to become really popular. Like I believe that it'll be really popular if it gets good treatment, because this is it's a pretty funny series, and ironically, with all the yeah, there it is, with the volleyball manga and the talk of me watching volleyball anime and everything, there's even a chapter in here about volleyball, which is pretty funny. Last, I've got Land of the Lustrous. Volume 10 is on a different shelf. It doesn't fit on this shelf. One of my all-time favorite series, I've already said it. Incredible art, amazing story, so much goddamn suffering. Kodansha, when's Volume 11 coming back? I've totally forgot that I have Land of Lustrous on my shelves. If you thought I was done complaining about not getting Volume 11, you are wrong.
Before we go to the next shelf, I'll show off a few other things, like a little break in between showcases. I'll probably leave timestamps if you're impatient or something, I don't know. Over here we got my little, my manga reading table. I don't know why I put my jackets up here, but I picked this spot particularly because, as you can see, it is directly underneath this light, so I get optimal reading light while also having this desk here to support my arms when I'm actually reading. Here we have Volume 2 of Attack on Titan, because I'm going back and rereading the manga, because I'll explain it later. And I also have Volume 2 of Haikyuu, because that's more what I want to read next when I get done with this. This is where the magic happens, so to speak. This is where I do the video gaming and the video editing, and right now I'm on Mega because I had to upload the footage from the camera that I was using to Mega on my phone and whatever, because for whatever reason I couldn't transfer it normally. I could not tell you why, but for some reason I couldn't, so I had to upload it to Mega and then download it. Then over here we got my Maid Dragon little notebook that I got, which mostly just serves as a way to keep track of what I get in the month for manga haul stuff. You can look at my terrible handwriting and this very low resolution image of Toru. Then here we got the posters I got from the Bleach boxes that I have. The second and third. Don't have the first one yet. And there's also a bunch of other posters I could put up, or from box sets that I've gotten, but I mean, no matter how I put them up, they're gonna end up getting damaged anyway. Right now I'm using tape, which damaged the poster and the wall behind it. Or I could use tape, which would still damage the corners of the poster. So honestly, at some point I might just take these down and put none of them up and just keep them somewhere where they won't get damaged. Maybe I'll frame them. Try to prevent as little damage as I possibly can. These are the art cards you get with Ari the Masterpiece if you buy them on Right Stuff Anime. I initially bought Volume 1 from Amazon, but then I realized you could get free art cards at like no extra charge if you get it on Right Stuff. So I bought the rest of them on Right Stuff, and now I have them. And these are higher quality paper, I guess you could call it, than these. These are a lot flimsier, these posters, so I have them taped back here. And these are also some art cards that came with the limited edition Blu-ray box set for K-On!, which I'll show off in a few seconds if you just stop fucking rushing me, you piece of shit. And then I have a little sticker that I got for a podcast that I listen to called Please Stop Talking Podcast. This area, that's where I keep my Bleach box sets. Ignore that one. Ignore that, don't look at that. This came with the Phantom Thieves edition of Persona 5 Royal that I pre-ordered way back when. I still haven't beaten Persona 5 Royal, but I'm getting, I don't want to say getting close, because I don't know how much longer Persona 5 Royal is than Persona 5, but I just beat Kanashiro's Palace, which is like the 3rd palace in the game, I think, out of 8. So I'm not even, maybe almost halfway. This is a little Donkey Kong plush I got in New York. Just quickly, that's where I keep my box set for Assassination Classroom, just up there smiling. The webcam there on my laptop, when I have it open, perfectly has a smiling face just up there. I did that on purpose. There's some more plush things I have. The little Sackboy came with the pre-order for the Day 1 edition of Little Big Planet 3 I got when it first came out on PS4. The Waddle Dee and that Pokemon over there I got from New York. This one I bought because I wanted it. That one I got like at no extra charge, basically. That's probably the oldest one, and out of all of these that I've had. This I got from Easter, I think, from some random relative, and that I don't even remember where I got. Oh, I'm a manlet. I forgot I had that. There's a little Darth Vader back there. I'm not gonna spend too much time, but I got some video games up here, more over here. Ignore this
I don't even like Overwatch anymore, but I got it when I didn't particularly like Overwatch, I just had fun playing with my friends, but I don't like playing Overwatch at all anymore. I've got Kaguya-sama up here, down here. These are the volumes that I borrowed from a friend. We haven't met up recently to keep doing like exchanges where we give things out. These are little art booklets. Oh, there we go. From the K-On! Limited Edition Blu-ray box set. Now you're probably starting to get what I mean when I said that I really liked the K-On! Anime. Then there's just a bunch of posters. I'm not going to record me unrolling them and showing them off in the video, but I'll probably undo them and take pictures of them to show in the video now. Okay, and I also got this art book also came with Persona 5 Royal. This is also like my Blu-ray DVD collection. I'll ignore that. I got that in the Bahamas. Don't roast me too much about my DVD or Blu-ray collection. I mainly just want to show that I have Code Geass and Manga here that I got. Those were in one of the hauls from the blind boxes I got. And down here is the K-On! This is what the limited edition box looks like. Very nice. I like it. Jesus. And then we've got, obviously, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the complete series, and Your Name. That's all the anime I got. I don't know if anyone's gonna be mad that I call it Avatar: The Last Airbender anime. Now we can finally get on. I'm so out of breath right now. This is terrible. I'm exposing how out of shape I am. Now we've got, I guess, the main eye catcher of my entire room, and that's this bookcase right here. At the top, you see I got the Tokyo Ghoul rebox sets, two of the, not box set, I wouldn't call them box sets, they're more just like sleeves. You can see all of them here. Might as well open the case now. Basically a lot of stuff. This would be a lot more filled out if I had money to spend on like extra stuff. That reminds me, never mind. I'll bring it up again in a different video when it eventually comes out, but we've got the rest of the box sleeves for the Attack on Titan series, so I have up to volume 22. I've got my copy of Manga and Theory Practice. I am fucking man. Hold on. Had to get a goddamn stool. We got a Manga and Theory Practice by Hirohiko Araki. Plush of Typhlosion. I don't like Pokemon that much, but I mean, I like Soul Silver, so that's cool, I guess. That's pretty much it. There's my singular anime figure over there, Mugi. Unless you want to make the argument that my only amiibo, Mifa, I think is her name. I've honestly forgotten. It's been so long since I've played Breath of the Wild. But I have that. That's the only amiibo I have. Not much else going on, so let's just get back to the actual manga. What you probably clicked this video for. We've got Volume 10 of Land of the Lustrous. I've already said what I need to say. Sweetness and Lightning. Very underrated. Slice of life. Wholesome comedy cooking series. Man, now that I've actually taken a closer look, the height differences between all these is... Oh my god, that's so bad. God damn it. Very underrated series. You should definitely check it out. But I don't even know if I should say this since I'm making the case it's underrated, but I haven't even finished it yet. I got this like way back earlier, like in August or something like that, and I haven't even finished it. I think this is the last volume I read. I won't need to go back and reread them. Maybe I might reread the whole series at one point, sometime later, but for the most part you won't need to like reread if you've dropped the series for a short amount, or like for a few months because there's some other stuff you wanted to read more. And it's also really annoying because of the crumpled up bottoms. There's like a gap underneath it. It's so weird. Kind of bothers me. I wonder if I can fix that. Witch Hat Atelier. I definitely still want to check this out, but obviously it's not very high on the priority list, or I'd have more of it. But this is a very entertaining series. The art is probably the best thing about it, honestly. I really love the art. I don't know, it caught me by surprise how good the art is. If I get more, I'll probably reread the first two volumes. I don't think I have a problem with that because it is pretty interesting. I especially like enjoyed the sort of early on plot development that witches aren't anyone special. They just know how to draw the specific circles to get those powers or whatever. So basically anyone can be a witch, which is kind of a neat little thing. And the apprentices are all at least fun to watch. Here we've got Assassination Classroom. Honestly, this is another series that I've been neglecting to read. I've finished volume 10 maybe last week or something, and I just haven't gotten around to volume 11 yet. It's not a bad series, but I can definitely tell how the series is eventually going to end You could tell very early on in the direction the series was going to go, and most of the characters I just don't care about. I know they go through the trouble of showing you at least like one defining trait for each character, giving them a little bit of story, but I feel like giving every character a little bit of story and like an important name, it dilutes the value of every character as well. Like, yeah, they've all equally got they're all equally have the same amount of development, but because it's spread so like between all of them, there's very little development to begin with, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm talking out of my ass. People seem to like this series. It's alright. Let's move on to Attack on Titan. And volume 22 is like two shelves down, and I'll show you why in a second. But the reason I'm rereading it, I've already read through the first 22 volumes of the manga, and I'm currently watching season 4 of Attack on Titan, which is really good so far. I've watched some videos that talk about some stuff that gets cut from the manga and the anime, so I'll definitely check the manga out when I'm finished with the anime, when that ends. But the reason I'm rereading the manga is because, again, so many blasphemous things coming out of my mouth today to go onto the internet for all to see, but I didn't like the manga as much as I liked the anime, and I guess that's just because of how well presented the anime is. Just like the art and animation and the music just elevates it to a higher level than what's in the manga. I'm sure the manga is great because it's going to have the amazing story, and Hajime Izuyama improves his art so much as the series goes on, but it's very low on my like priority. Like, it's not very high on my priorities to keep collecting the manga, even up to where the English release is right now. It's just not in the cards for me. I just don't feel like spending money on that. One, because I'm not sure if I'm actually going to appreciate the manga for what it is, so that's why I'm going back to the beginning and rereading. And also, they're probably going to do one of those box sleeves for season 4, honestly. I mean, the first two, these ones for season 1, had sticker sheets, which I don't remember where I put, but if I find them, I'll show them later. And I had a really good one that I'll specifically show that I thought was kind of funny. This one had a poster, a double-sided poster, which you'll have already seen, and these two had these two short storybooks about different characters that I haven't read yet. So, if they do it, but they probably will, because Attack on Titan isn't as much of a cash cow as it used to be in the West when season 1 came out, but it's definitely still really popular. At least popular enough to still get physical English releases instead of Land of the Lustrous. But whatever. Not salty. So, those are pretty much the reasons why it's like low on my priority list on why I don't want to get any more volumes right now. But I'm sure some people will disagree. That's fine. Alright, now to get in between, to the shelf in between Attack on Titan, Volume 7 and Volume 8 through 22, and that is the Bleach shelf. I don't know if you've already seen this. I feel like I might be wrong. You might have already seen this. I don't know. What am I saying? This has got all the stuff that I've got dedicated to Bleach. If you noticed, I don't have Volumes 1 through 21 yet. Hopefully I'll be able to complete the collection then. This is the little box, by the way, that came with Persona 5, the Phantom Thieves edition. I don't know if you can even get this anymore, the Phantom Thieves edition, but it's pretty cool. It was only like $90, and it's like, at least when I first played Persona 5 Vanilla, it's like a 100-hour game. Here we've got this little thing. There's like a little Pocky box thingy that I got at an Asian market. This, I don't own any guns, I don't shoot them. One day in high school, my friend came up to me and said, here, and I have it, and I've just had it ever since. It's just kind of there. Here we have the Bleach, like, supplemental stuff. I haven't read these to complete. I've read this. Well, I haven't read these to their completion, because most of it is just, like, information about the story and characters. I do plan on reading these in full when I go back to reread or rewatch the series. But for now, I've just read, like, the extra, like, special extra comics and whatnot. These are the extras that came with the 2 box sets, the original pilot chapter, which this one, I believe, also contains the pilot chapter for Bleach, the original one-shot. This is a little art booklet of the different volume covers, but without, like, the color effects over top of them, and then, like, a small interview with Kubo. This is just most of the manga, the first Blu-ray that I have of, and I hope early next year that this will become the Taite Kubo shelf and not just the Bleach shelf, when I hope Viz will, like, Burn the Witch over already, because goddamn it, it's already been, like, 3 months since it originally came out in Japan, and I'm pretty sure the French translation, the French edition, the French physical edition is coming out in like February. The email I sent earlier this month or something like that, they said they weren't having any plans right now, viz. For the English release, but if they don't, I'm actually gonna be like so confused. Oh, that reminds me, I was about to move on, but I just remembered two very important things that I wanted to talk about. One, I went to Jump Festa 2021. It was an online thing, and it was only available in Japan. So I had to make a Japanese iTunes account and get a VPN so I could pretend I was in Japan to watch it. But I watched a few panels. I was only there for the second day, and I watched the I was there for the World's End Harem one. I don't have any pictures or screenshots that I took when I was there, but I was there for the Black Clover one. I was there for the Spy Family one and the Bleach Burn the Witch one. And I've also got a bunch of other pictures of stuff that I was doing around the whole area, and it was, while not much really happened, like the Black Clover one had some stuff with the voice actors doing voice acting, and they announced they're going to be doing, the anime is going to be adapting the Spade arc, I think, or the Dark Triad arc, or whatever it's called. And Spy Family, there wasn't much. I don't remember there being anything really important. No anime, unfortunately. I hope there's one. But Burn the Witch and Bleach was mostly just about talking about Burn the Witch, because they had voice actors from the anime, and then they were talking about Season 2. I don't actually know Japanese, by the way. I was just like, context clues, basically. I was just guessing what they were talking about. But then they talked about Kubo's fan club, which I knew about, was happening prior, called Club Outside. Either way, we didn't get anything about the studio or like any like release window when the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War anime is coming out. The rumors are Studio Pierrot, Studio Madhouse collaboration, like late 2021, early 2022 at the earliest. That would be cool, like big if true, right? But still nothing confirmed yet, which is unfortunate. But apparently there's a thing called anime something in March. I'll put something on the screen maybe that we might learn more about it at. I don't know, either way we know it's happening. I'm excited it's happening at all, and as long as they do it justice and like they add the things they need. Because speaking of adding things they need, I'm reading through this, obviously. I've read a bit more since I first got it in the haul video, but there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out. There's some grammatical errors that I noticed. Okay, I found them. I wouldn't worry about too massive spoilers. This is like chapter 2, and unless you like specifically pause to read this, oh man, it's really bad. Come on, camera, focus. But there were some things that I noticed that would seem kind of off to me. I'm no expert. Let me get into the light, I guess. Jesus, come on. But I just felt like they were off when I was reading them. You can tell me if I'm crazy in the comments, people that are more versed in actually writing things, but I'll highlight it on screen as well. Many people had felt a foreboding, and it could even be said that they sensed something. I feel like a comma should show up after sensed, because what you're supposed to do with a comma, as far as I know, is a comma is to add in extra information that isn't like necessary per se, but it's also, if you remove things that are in the comma, the sentence still flows properly. So if you remove everything after the comma, it's just many people had felt a foreboding. But if there was a comma after the word sensed, it would be many people had felt the foreboding something. It still doesn't make sense, but I don't know. I've never felt the foreboding before, so I don't know what that's like. This one was a bit bigger of a deal. I remember I read it once and I was confused. And then I read it twice and then I was just like irrationally upset. Like, what the fuck is this? I'll just read it out and then I'll like air what I think is wrong with it and how it should be written. I believe it's the second paragraph. But now that Nellie L, who'd been previously missing, had up till then had returned with Halle Bell in tow, ambitious Arancars and Vassalordes level Manos Grandes had immediately been discouraged and gone back to their own colonies. I read that and immediately I did like a comedic double take. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But now that Nellie L, who had been previously missing, had up till then had returned with Halle Bell in tow. I'm pretty sure the sentence is supposed to read, but now that Halle Bell, who had been previously missing, had returned with Halle Bell. That seems, like, way better to me. It seems like it was just like a typo that they just missed, but, like, maybe it could have been, but now that Neliel, who had up till then been previously missing, that seems a bit redundant either, but it seems like that might have been a typo where they mixed things up or something. But I think, like, a good way of, like, I get the information it's trying to tell me. Neliel showed up with Halle Bell back in Mundo, and everyone else who wanted to take her place basically ran away. But it was just the way it was phrased was very odd to me. It could have just been like, but now that Neliel, who had previously been missing, had returned with Halle Bell. It couldn't have been like intentional. It's gotta have been like a mistake. But I mean, it's such an obvious mistake, which is why it confuses me so much. Man, this is probably gonna suck visually. All right, now that we're done with that, let's get back to looking at the rest of the manga collection. Here we've got the rest of Attack on Titan. A special shout out to this volume cover. I like this volume cover a lot. Out of everything I have, this is probably one of my favorite volume covers, just because I like how it looked. Now I gotta put the camera down so I can put this back on the shelf. Wait. Oh no. Come on. There we go. Then we got all of Black Clover, which, despite it being mostly just like black, like the pretty radical changes in color as the volume goes on was pretty nice, actually. I kind of like it. Oh, I just noticed they're all white, the little clovers. Interesting. Unfortunately, we got... I don't think it's the first time we've seen it out. I just think the first time I've pointed it out. Oh, wait, no, this might... Wait, no, it wasn't. I think this is the first time in the collection... Wait, I'm stupid. This is the first time in the collection there's been a major shift in logos. Although they're consistent in their own respective, like, sections, this is the first time where like a full series by itself has had a logo change. Logos have been pretty consistent, and the last one just had to be that old Boxy Viz logo. I don't even like care that like they changed it to a more simplified version. I don't prefer one or the other. I just hate how it just decided to change. But I'm sure you've heard that complaint 10 trillion times. There's like worse looking logo changes, but I feel like I just felt like pointing it out, especially because it'll go from circle, boxy to minimalistic, blocky, and then they'll have the circle and then the minimalist. But Black Clover, definitely one of my favorite series. I've started watching the anime canon arc. I'm like episode 131 right now as of this recording. Apparently they're gonna be getting back to manga pretty soon based on what was in Jump Festa. I don't know how soon that is, but I know there's like they're like up to episode 158 right now or something like that. Anyway, volume 24 of the manga comes out January 5th. So I have done a pretty good job of like preventing myself or stopping myself from reading ahead digitally and just like keeping with the physical release. One thing that should also be noted, this is a slightly lighter shade than everything else. It's odd. How did I just notice that? It's just that one too. What? It's like slightly greener. Do you see that? Alright, last few things on the shelf. Blue Exorcist, very low priority on my shelf, unfortunately. I enjoy it. It was actually, I don't know if it had an actual panel at Jump Festa, but there was a bunch of stuff around. There was like a game that they had. They had like a couple of games scattered around the whole area, and Blue Exorcist had one of them. So it's apparently still very popular. I do want to check it out, but again, low priority, I guess, which is probably unfortunate for you Blue Exorcist fans out there, because it's not a bad series. I just haven't... There's had things that I've been, like, personally enjoyed more. Here we got Chainsaw Man. I accidentally spoiled myself on something, and now I'm so sad. I'll talk about it in a second, because it is a spoiler for those who don't know, but at Jump Festa, it had a stage at some point. I don't remember. I didn't actually go there, but it's getting an anime by MAPPA, which is both a good news and my voice is starting to go. This is awful. Which is both good news and bad news. Good news is Chainsaw Man's getting an anime. Bad news is the chances of MAPPA doing a season 2 of Dorohedoro has gone down slightly, which is unfortunate. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I'll put a timestamp when I actually get to the spoilers, but I have a new banner for my YouTube channel that I made myself. And she's pretty small on the screen, but near like the top little right hand corner of the logo that I made, the bleach style logo I made, there's a picture of Power, a fan art of Power I found, and timestamp's going on screen right now. If you don't want to get spoiled, skip to the timestamp on screen. 3, 2, 1. I was looking up Power fan art, and you know that meme where you type in your favorite character's name in Google and it autofills to death? I don't know how true it is, but that happened when I was looking up Power, and I'm so upset because I like Power so much, and I'm gonna be so sad if she dies, especially because part 1 of the manga ended recently. Part 2 is gonna happen at some point, which is gonna be cool, but oh man, I might have to drop the whole series because Power's dead. No, I'm just kidding. But next up we got Dead Man Wonderland. Wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but it's definitely very important to me because it's one of the first like very gory, action-filled, edgy shows that I watched. I watched Dead Man Wonderland. Don't know if it's still on Netflix, but I watched the anime when it was out on Netflix pretty early on. Like some early anime I watched: Rosario Vampire, Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, Dead Man Wonderland. I was definitely excited to read these, and I don't know. I feel like I've read people say that they didn't like the ending of the series. I thought it was good. I thought it was conclusive for the most part, and I thought the ending with Ganta and Shiro was satisfying, in my opinion. And seeing all the characters later on with their like epilogue was a lot of fun. The final battle was epic, and the art is amazing. And I should probably go check out some of these duos, Jinsei Kataoka and Kazuma Kondos. I should go check out more of their stuff. I think they had another series called Living Tombstone, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it's called. I don't know if they're working on anything right now. For some reason, I want to say Platinum End, but I know that's not them. That's the Death Note creators, and that's getting an anime, which is cool. Good for them, and good for Platinum End fans. I don't know anything about Platinum End, but I also need to go back and read Death Note. That reminds me. But next up, we got The Devil is a Part-Timer. This is the manga. I actually have up to volume 7, and I just like have it loaned out to a friend right now. The same friend who I'm borrowing Kaguya-sama Love is War from. And this is where the anime ended, volume 5. And so far, man, I'm really enjoying what's outside of the anime, but various things, like, again, having things I would rather have be collecting and reading over The Devil's a Part-Timer. It's low priority, basically, is what I'm saying, because I like it, but I don't like it as much as other stuff. And as well as the ending of the light novel is very controversial, and I got spoiled for it. I wasn't gonna read the light novel anyway, but who knows what's going on with the manga. I'm pretty sure the manga's still going despite like the backlash it's gotten, the light novel. And I'll see, like, how much more of The Devil is a Part-Timer I get in the next year. But it's a pretty fun slice-of-life comedy. It's one of the few isekai that I've actually tried, tried out. I've watched, obviously, No Game, No Life, and The Devil is a Part-Timer, and I think, as far as I can think, those are the only two isekai that I've actually interacted with, but I haven't liked No Game, No Life as much as Devil's a Part-Timer. I don't know how, again, with all these possibly blasphemous takes, because I know people love No Game, No Life. Next up, we got another single volume. This is another one that I see people recommending for people starting out collecting, which I have to agree with. It's God's Lie is a pretty good short story. I really enjoyed it, and I don't know, there's nothing else to say. I really liked it. The story was very interesting. The characters were fun to watch. It kind of reminded me of a Makoto Shinkai type deal, especially Weathering with You, at least some of it, when they tried to like run away, but obviously it's shorter than that. And also, I don't know if it's just me, but my copy came in kind of weird. Like, I've obviously read it, that's why it's like bent this way, but it was kind of like already bent that way when I got it. You can see it's kind of got a bit of yellowing, and that's just kind of how it came in. I don't know, and it's also wider than most volumes. Let me grab, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. I have to put it back on the shelf with one hand, but as you can see, it's a bit wider than most books, so it sticks out a bit if you have them pushed up against all the way, but I have them sticking out a little bit. That's why it didn't stick out very much. Just realized I put that in the wrong way, but that's fine. As you can see, obviously volume 2 of Haikyuu's missing. I have it on my reading table. Haikyuu, I've already said what I need to say about the series and the whole. I just realized something. This is gonna be the downfall of my whole channel. It's gonna get banned off YouTube. I don't know what I'm saying, but man, because I only started this in February when I'd already been collecting manga for almost a year at that point. Like at least like 10 or 11 months. I'd already been collecting manga. So as I'm going through this whole collection showcase, like I have a lot to say about each different series because I haven't had a chance to talk about them in a haul video. But at some point, like, well, literally next year, every haul video I'm going to be talking about every new volume of manga that I get over the course of the year. So when I do a collection video, all I'm going to be showing off is like a superficial change in what my collection like looks like. I'm not going to be talking about it. I'm just going to be saying like how it looks. Like this is what my collection looks like now. This is like how I've set it up to look, basically. What am I saying? I think you get what I'm saying. This video is already going to be long as hell because I'm talking too much about each individual series. But it's next year's, if I do one next year, it's going to be, remember how my shelf looked this year? Well, now there's another shelf. And this is how I rearrange things to better show my personality through how I sort my manga or something like that. Enough of that rambling. Hunter x Hunter, you've seen these all in haul videos. Definitely one of my all-time favorite animes. I've finished reading volume 6. I'm very excited because one of my favorite like parts like in the series is coming up in volume 7. It's going to be Gon versus Hisoka in the Heaven's Arena. But honestly, because there's so much that I don't have of Hunter x Hunter, I don't know if I could buy the whole series bulk. I could if I saved it up, but at some point I might probably have it low priority, slowly collecting up volume 7, 8, 9, 10, just like every once in a while buy a volume of Hunter x Hunter. But like I could sometime soon like buy volumes 32 through whatever the current volume is, so that I could like see what's being done outside of what was in the anime, because I've obviously watched the anime. I know the story. Then I'm gonna be, what I'm reading right now is stuff I've already seen, but I am enjoying it more than Haikyuu. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why the first volume it felt like it was dragging on forever. Jujutsu Kaisen, I have gone back. I've reread the first 3 volumes, which I had only read 3 volumes before the anime started, and I just wasn't feeling the manga as much as a lot of other people were. I don't know what it was, but it just really wasn't my thing at the time. But after I started watching the anime, and I was enjoying the anime like a million times better. Like I was watching it, I enjoyed it so much more than I enjoyed the manga. I went back and I reread the first 3 volumes, and then I read volume 4, and I'm now officially on the Jujutsu Kaisen hype train. The anime is amazing, and I'm appreciating the manga a lot more. So I don't know when I'll get them, but I do want to keep collecting the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. Although honestly, what I might do is I might wait until the first season of the anime ends, and then just buy however many volumes are available in English then, and then just start reading that. Next up, we got Kaguya-sama Lover's War. Not much to say about this. I've read up to volume 16, as you saw when I was showing off the volumes that I was borrowing from a friend. Definitely one of my favorite series. Super low priority in terms of collecting, because I've already read the first 16 volumes, but it was like these were like pretty low at prices on Amazon, like lower than usual, so I decided to pick them up, the first 2 volumes. And I've reread volume 1, and I have not reread volume 2, but it's definitely, again, one of my favorite series, and I'll definitely get my own versions of the series at some point. But for now, I'll probably like keep it low priority because of my friend, who is already keeping up with the English release of the series and letting me borrow them for a while. Kimi no Todoke, if you remember this was one of my eBay purchases from early on in my career, I guess you could call it, of making manga haul videos. Have not gone to get more. This is just so sad. This is the problem with me, is early on in my manga buying career, take any advice from me at all, it should be this: be modest. Don't try to collect so many series at once, because you're going to end up with like a small amount of volumes for a bunch of different series, and not knowing what to buy next when it comes to, like, when you want to buy manga, you're like, I don't know what volumes I want to get. Even to this day, I have to resist the temptation just to, like, ooh, that's on sale, I'll buy it now. Or that looks kind of interesting, I'll buy that, instead of continuing to buy other series that I already know I'm gonna love. I'll definitely have to reread these 7 volumes if or when I eventually get around to reading more of Kimi ni Todoke, because this is probably one of, like, the first really romance-focused series that I've been into. Because Kaguya-sama Loves War, obviously, it's gotten to be more strictly romance drama-focused. But at the beginning, it's mostly a comedy about romance rather than a romance, you know, if that makes sense. And another one of my favorite romance series that I recently finished rewatching the anime for, Toradora, doing the yearly rewatch thing. I really like that as well, but that's also like a comedy, but it has more drama in it, I suppose. Either way, I don't particularly like romance series, but Kimi ni Todoke was pretty interesting to me. I enjoyed reading it. If I decided I wanted to get romance, this would be high up on the priority list. It would be priority list wise on what romance manga I would want to get. If I decided to get romance, would be Toradora, then Kimi ni Todoke, and then Kaguya. Because Kaguya, I've already read. I don't, you know. Next we got One Punch Man, all 21 volumes. My throat is starting to fucking hurt. I've been talking for so goddamn much. I need to hurry up and get this over with and get back to reading Haikyuu, you know. Maybe this is good. I'm training to be better at public speaking and endurance something or other. Some of the best art in the game. Got one of my favorite characters in manga, Garo. I really love Garo. He's not anything special, but he's just, like, so entertaining and so interesting as a character that I love him so much. I believe there's no official release date for Volume 22, at least in English. Actually, no. It's June, I think, Volume 22, which is so sad. I think we're right behind. We're, like, with the Japanese release of the manga. Japanese release... Volume 22 hasn't even come out yet, if I'm not mistaken. By the way, I'm excited to see Volume 22, because in that volume, we're probably going to see Child Emperor versus Phoenix, which will hopefully be an interesting fight, and then hopefully we'll get more of Garo already, because I've missed him so much. And it's like, I don't get that feeling, like, for Black Clover, to just, like, keep bringing the digital, because I need more type thing. I don't know. It's just, it's weird, because I definitely want more, but it's not the same kind of want for, like, Black Clover, for example. But we're just gonna move on because my voice can't take this, my throat hurts. We got 3 volumes of Parasite. I just recently started reading Volume 2 of Parasite, finally, and not much to say, honestly, because I haven't read much more since the last time I talked about the Parasite manga from one of the hauls that I had. Promised Neverland, as you can see, I have also lent out the first 5 volumes of the Promised Neverland to my friend, and I will say, I think I mentioned it before, but I started getting a bit bored, I guess you could call it, with the story. Like, Gully Pond isn't a bad arc by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not as interesting, I guess you could say. Like, the action was fun, but it wasn't nearly as entertaining or interesting as the Mind Games. But, so I was kind of slow as I kept going on, but I believe in Volume 14 or 15, and I'll put up a timestamp, if you want to skip ahead to not be spoiled. Timestamps on the screen, 3, 2, 1. There's a, like, after we met up with Norman again, he's become a changed person. He's different. He kind of reminds me of Kaneki after he went through the torture with Jason, where he has that composed, like that Kaneki that we knew before side to him, but he's also got a more violent, I guess you could call it, persona. And, like, Norman has become, like, a strategic genius. Well, he always was, but now he's on the path to basically genocide all the demons in order to get his goal of escaping to the human world with Emma and Norman and the lot. So that sort of, like, dilemma between Emma's naive optimism of wanting to find a peaceful solution between the demons and the humans, and Norman's, I guess his attempted path of blood, I guess you could call it, has really pulled me back into it, and I'm really interested to see how it goes. But now I'm also kind of sad because I know the series is ending at Volume 20, but we'll see how it goes. Rosario Vampire, very underrated series, honestly. It was one of my first anime of all time, so the anime will always have a special place in my heart. But I revisited it last year maybe, and I was disappointed because the anime was like just meh. It wasn't as good as I remembered it, because I mean, isn't that always how it is? But I had read somewhere that the manga was a lot better, and that's when I first discovered that manga box set sort of thing that existed. So around May or June of 2019, that's when I picked up the box set. Here it is, the big reveal, the final manga shelf on my, up there as well. Down there is actually the box set. I don't feel like pulling it out. Buy your own if you want to see it. But yeah, especially season 2 of the manga. It's really good. I'm a goddamn man, like, gotta get a goddamn stool. Hate it here. Definitely a great series. I wasn't particularly a fan. Spoilers. So many goddamn spoilers. Timestamp on screen. I wasn't particularly a fan of how they left it to a vague harem ending. Like, I really enjoy the whole series. Akihisa Ikeda had something special with the Rosario Vampire. And while they did, in like the last chapter, have Tsukune and Mocha say they love each other, they didn't really do much with it afterward, and the epilogue just kind of implied that they'll keep going on as is, and nothing really came of that confession at the end, which is unfortunate. But if you're all interested, definitely check it out. And I'm debating on reading more of Ghost Reaper Girl, Akihisa Ikeda's new work, but on one hand, there's no English release. On the other hand, it's Akihisa Ikeda, which I really liked his Rosario Vampire, but for whatever reason, he released the official English digital version of it. I read the first chapter. Not only did it give me Bleach vibes, which isn't bad, Jujutsu Kaisen did too, but he was also flipped to be read left to right for some reason. For whatever reason, that's what Akihisa Ikeda requested they do. I don't know. I know it's still right to left in Japanese, but I don't know how they're gonna do an English release. If they do one at all, I would hope so. But if they're gonna really keep it left to right, because that'll be kind of odd. Could you hear my voice going? My throat hurts. Let's just get through this quickly. Slam dunk. I don't really have much to say. Moving on to Spy Family. This is the series that I hope gets an anime next. I'm really excited. XXX Holics. Still have not read that. Sorry about that. Your Name. Got these a little bit after I watched the movie for the first time. Bit of an impulse buy because I don't like the manga as much as the anime. The manga is basically just the exact same, but minus all of the visual flair and like the amazing visuals that the movie had. So if you're thinking about checking out the series, movie first, honestly. Check out the movie, pretty much disregard the manga unless you feel really strongly about the anime that you just want more of it. Aeon, these three are basically things I got from $1 manga blind boxes when they were still a thing. I don't think they are anymore. I think they got rid of them. Now it's just a $1 blind box in general. I've actually read this one. It's alright. It's by the same person that made Future Diary. I mean, that's fine. Here we got all of Love Hina, almost, because of course there's just one lonely one hanging out here. Not one of my favorites, but still a very good, very fun, entertaining rom-com, harem, ecchi thing that I enjoyed. One of the few romance harem things that I know of that I've actually read that has a conclusive ending where the MC picks a girl. But there's one thing I do have to do. I don't know if I showed it off. I'll show it off now. Spoilers for the ending of Love Hina. The last few pages, someone wrote something I didn't notice until after the refund, I think, period, on eBay. But, I mean, it doesn't really ruin the experience of my manga reading, but I'll definitely at some point want to, like, buy the Kodansha 3-in-1. I think it's 3-in-1. Either way, the Kodansha version of at least the final volume of Love Hina, just so I can have one that doesn't have that writing, and maybe eventually I'll rebuy the whole series with Kodansha's reprints in the omnibus format, because I do like the series. I also want to try, I think it's called Negima or something like that, that series by the same author. Here we have another $1 blind box thing that I got that I enjoyed. It's by the same writer, Fruits Basket. I never tried Fruits Basket. Maybe I'll give it a try, because I enjoyed most of the stories in this series, or in this short book, rather. The ones that I specifically liked are Songs to Make You Smile, Ding Dong, and Double Flower. Honestly, Voice of Mine and My Hand is Shaking, what the fuck is that? And the bonus chapter with Princess Dark Black, I just didn't enjoy as much. If you somehow find it, I mean, it's not a bad pickup for a single volume if you're interested. I, of course, got it for $1. We got the Legendary Series Berserk, still missing 16 through 18, but it was very nice. I am almost halfway through. I have up to volume 20, which is half of what is currently available physically for Berserk, but technically I'm not halfway there because I'm still missing 3 volumes. Hopefully that'll be here by January, because in January I have one thing that I placed an order for recently. Most of it's out of stock, expecting more. Then I've got some of the pre-order. 2 things in the pre-order order that I made on Right Stuff are coming out in January, alongside a few other things that were already like in stock when I placed the order for them in the same pre-order order. So hopefully that'll be here in January. Mob Psycho 100, I'm on the fence about continuing to collect the manga. I really love the anime. The anime is amazing, but after reading the first volume, I was just kind of meh. Maybe I should really give it another chance. The animation was amazing in the anime, but the art in the manga, without it being in motion, I just didn't feel that same kind of magic. Maybe if I get more of it and I reread the first volume, I'll rediscover the magic of the series. Who knows? But I am willing to give it another chance, basically, is what I'm saying. Neon Genesis Evangelion Shinji Ikari Raging Project, a meh spin-off series. I haven't finished Volume 2 yet, but I do want to get the rest of the series just because it's kind of funny sometimes. It's kind of entertaining. But if you're a fan of Neon Genesis Evangelion, I wouldn't, even if you're like a huge fan, I don't know if I necessarily completely recommend this, especially because this one's out of print, so I had to find this somewhere on eBay to get it. I don't know if you'll have as much of an easy time as me, but low priority. High Rise Invasion. Getting an anime by Netflix has definitely made me more interested in collecting more of the series, because after reading all 3 of these, I was just kind of eh. Like, it was an interesting, fun little action series, but I don't know. It didn't keep me engaged enough, especially the main character. Like I guess a microcosm of why I didn't really enjoy it very much was a scene early on where she gets a police revolver, and she shoots 5 shots, and then she's like, what? It doesn't have a 6th shot? Don't most revolvers have them? Oh wait, that's right. My big brother told me one time, and it cuts to a flashback of her as a little kid with her older brother saying, remember this, I believe Yuri is her name, remember this, Yuri, police revolvers are made to be weaker than most revolvers. They only have 5 shots, and they do that because guns are illegal in Japan or something. And it's just like so fucking stupid. Why did you have to... I get she's like a bro-con. She wants to fuck her older brother. Or at least that's what's implied. But, like, Jesus, did you really have to do this whole flashback and for no reason at all her older brother explained that? I don't know. It's still getting like a pretty consistent English release for the manga. So, low priority, but it's definitely still interested. Spirit Circle. Man. Hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm fucking dying. It's another great short series if you're just started collecting. It's 6 volumes long, and it's a very entertaining series. I believe the author also made a series called Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. Pretty much completely out of print, which is so sad because I want it so bad because I really loved Spirit Circle so much. It was a great short series, so I recommend it. I hope it gets an anime as well, because it would be good for like a short seasonal thing, you know? 12, 13 episode long one, just like one core thing. And I'm sure it would be pretty popular. It was good. And it's surprisingly dark in some places. But, oh, check it out. It was a lot of fun. And it kind of played with an idea that I had personally thought of myself. It wasn't exactly it, but it was kind of what I was thinking. A lot of the story is the main character, like, dreaming about his past lives to understand why this one girl hates him so much. And that's kind of an idea I've had for a story. Please don't steal. About an isekai where, like, every once in a while they go to a new world. Like he gets transported to a world, they spend a while, but then they go to a new world because the conflict is between 2 people constantly going between getting isekai into new worlds. But it's a fun series. It's great. Could have been a lot longer than it was, but it was a fun thing. It said its piece, and it didn't overstay its welcome, so definitely check it out. World's End Harem, not much to say. It's got lots of plot, and it's got an actually kind of interesting plot, if that makes sense. Here backed into a corner by the big bully Bakano is a short manga called Shinra Cat by Makoto Shinkai, which is basically just a simple story about a cat watching their owner, a young Japanese businesswoman, go about their life, and it was interesting enough. Definitely if you're interested in more like is melancholy a good word for it? It's an interesting short story. It's got sort of like a drama to it, maybe, because she's the woman is kind of like dealing with a lot of things in her life, and it's her cat. It's from her cat's perspective, basically. So it's a pretty short read, not too expensive. Check it out if you've got the time. Here we got. Almost done. Like ensued rest my throat. This is my light novel collection. Not much to say because I don't read most of this and I feel so bad. I read these two back in middle school or something when I got them. These are novel versions of the first two Metal Gear Solid games. This I've read, and that is pretty much it. Most of these I haven't read, which is so sad. But I'm partway through this second volume of Devil's a Part-Timer. I do plan on reading Bakano. There are still light novels. There's the Bleach light novels I want to read. The rest of the Tokyo Ghoul light novels that I want to check out. And these are these two and this one are the novels for series I don't know anything about, where I can try and see if I like light novels or I like light novels to pre-existing things. Oh, man. It took a lot out of me. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like. Drop a like. Put an F in the chat for my throat. It's really going. My voice is really going right now. I'd definitely be sure to check out to subscribe if you want to see more, because I plan on keep making monthly manga haul videos. I'm seriously debating about whether or not I want to do another one of these collection videos by the end. Maybe it'll be like a bi-yearly thing every 2 years, or if there's like a significant enough change in the way my collection looks. Because this is a long video, and my throat hurts. Also, who knows, I think I mentioned earlier, but I have some ideas of what extra content I want to do. Like, do a series where I rewatch Bleach, do like anime reactions, bro. And if I get popular, I don't have to get a real job. Just kidding. I don't think badly of anime reactors, just some of them. Some of them have really good discussions or really fun reactions to specific things. Some of them were just terrible. Nothing against the idea. Maybe I'll do a series where I reread Bleach or something, as well as rewatch Bleach. Who knows? But I need to rest my throats. So,